What is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. iPad Pro M1 versus iPad Pro 11 2020. So this has the all new M1 CPU, and this one over here on the right does have the A12Z. We'll go ahead and boot these up at the same time in 3, 2, 1 and see which one can get there first. Now, do keep in mind that the M1 product on the left does give us 8 gigabytes of RAM. Now on the right, we do get 6 gigabytes of RAM, so it's a little bit less, and I don't think it's going to make a major difference, but it's just something to point out between these two. And the iPad M1 with the victory on the boot up over the iPad Pro 11 from 2020 with the A12Z. All right, guys, so we're now in the iPads, and both of them do have liquid retina displays. Although this one's an XDR, it does have 120 hertz. This one does have 120 hertz. So going through these iPads, there is no difference you're going to notice just scrolling through. They're both buttery smooth in this element. Let's go into Geekbench here, and just to confirm right here, we are on 14.5.1, and over here we're on 14.5.1. Notice once again 7.22 gigabytes available of memory, over here 5.57. Now the M1 is clocked at 3.19 gigahertz for this, iPad Pro 12.9, and over here we do have 2.49 gigahertz on that A12Z Bionic. All right, guys, so we've arrived at the application portion of this speed test. Now I'm going to do the more intense stuff after we take care of this. So let's go ahead. You can see everything is closed. Everything is closed. Can the M1 actually show quicker speeds just in everyday applications? And you can see a little bit faster there to open up there on the left. Let's go ahead and swipe up out of here. We're going to go into eBay, and you can see eBay a little bit quicker on which one. I couldn't really see it. Let's go into Best Buy, and you can see this is going to go to the M1 CPU. What about we go to the products page? A little bit snappier there for the M1. Let's go into Starbucks, and this one's going to go to M1 CPU. Now usually we don't see this. Let's go into Groupon. That one was really, really close, but it's not typical to see actually a big difference from iPad to iPad, but this is actually, it's not substantial, but it's noticeable. Let's go into PUBG Mobile. Like, I think if you're opening up a ton of apps, it's gonna feel a little zippier than the A12Z based on just this test right here. We haven't even got to the more serious stuff, which we're gonna do in a minute, but you can see doing very well here. Loads up PUBG quicker than this guy over here. And enter a match here. This one's entering a match on this side. We're gonna enter a match game right here. But yeah, we were basically loading up PUBG quicker here on the iPad M1. So yeah, gaming performance is gonna be improved as well, not just things like video editing. Let's go into Mortal Kombat, and you'll see that Mortal Kombat will load up first here. Is that gonna go to the M1? Yeah, it's not ahead, it's not ahead by a lot, but more than what I seen when we went from like the iPad Pro 2018 to this one right here. So definitely a nice little jump here, just even in opening applications as you're seeing in this test. So yeah, giving this one to the M1 as well. Very nice there for that product. Let's go over here and let's go into Crossy Road, a basic game. Can the M1 open this up faster than the iPad A12Z? And yes, it did. Quicker once again there for the M1. Let's head up out of there. Let's go into Premiere Rush and see how we do on this one. And you can see that's again to the M1. Now we're gonna head up out of here. Let's go into Lumafusion, and I do have videos in here. We will be rendering. This is a serious product here with a serious chip, so we're not just gonna open up applications. I will be going through this video that I preloaded, and we will be rendering that out in a minute. Let's go into iMovie, so stay tuned. And we have one here as well that we edited out. Come up out of there. Let's go into Geekbench, and that one goes to the A12Z. Swipe up out of there. Let's go into 3D Mark, and yeah, pretty similar on that one, but man, I gotta say, a lot of these applications did open up faster for the M1. It was actually noticeably so, like a second, maybe half a second, but still, as you start opening many applications, this product feels zippier than that one over there. All right, so we're gonna go right into Geekbench, and we're gonna see how they perform here. Let's go to CPU, and I'm gonna run the benchmark, and I'm gonna leave the video running so you can kind of see. I'll speed it up, but I'm gonna leave it running so you can see which one finishes first. Okay, so the final scores are in, and the iPad M1 smoked the iPad Pro of last year in finishing this test. But the iPad Pro of last year did really well. We have 800 or around 600 points better on the iPad Pro M1 in the single core, and around 3,000 better in the multi-core. But just the speed at which it finished it just kind of shows how powerful that thing is over there. But are we going to see better software at WWDC? That's what I want to see, because I'm not sure if we can take that much advantage of that power with this current operating system on board, or at least give us some pro applications, Apple. I would like that. Let's go into 3D Mark over here, and we're gonna go ahead and run a wildlife test right here. I'm gonna put it in a limited mode for both. I'm gonna hit start, and I'll be back when they are done. So here are the final scores for the 3D Mark benchmark, and the M1 iPad blew the doors off of the iPad Pro 2020 with a score of 18,293 versus 13,387. An average frame rate of 109.5 FPS. If you want a gaming beast of a tablet, go with this one. 80.2 FPS is still a beast of a frame rate, so it's strong here too. But you know, for those of you who are always looking for the best frame rates you can get, go with this new iPad. You're gonna be super happy here. Okay guys, so let's take it to Lumafusion. Now I noticed that when you are editing a video, the iPad Pro M1 actually, it's hard to see on camera, but it actually is faster when going through the timeline. It's a little bit noticeable, but both of them are very smooth, so your overall experience is not gonna be, you know, mind-blowingly different here. But let's see which one can render out this 5-minute video a little bit quicker. Let's go. And I'll be back when they are done writing these movies. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see this a little bit better here. The iPad M1 beat this iPad, not by much, only by a couple seconds, so it wasn't major here in Lumafusion. All right, so we're now here in iMovie. Let's go ahead and see how fast they can export here on this one. It's a 4-minute and 56-second video here. Let's see what they got. All right, so the iPad Pro 12.9 M1 did finish this test first, and it did beat it. So it beat it in Lumafusion, it beat it in iMovie, beat it in the benchmarks, beat it in the app test. And yes, it's not that much faster, like it's gonna be life-changing, but I do think Apple is setting the iPad up for the future here, and just allowing this product to definitely be something that, if they can improve on the software, can be a true, you know, MacBook replacement down the line. But if they keep it this way, it's just always going to be a really, really powerful iPad. However, this is really exciting to see how far we've come in iPad performance. This is a beast here, especially if you want to do gaming, video editing, you know, anything that requires that chip a lot. You can do it here for the older iPads, but you're going to do it quicker here. But you got to decide, how much does that mean to you? If you found this video helpful, entertaining, informing, do me a favor, click that like button for me. And if you love this one, you might like this one right here as well. I'll catch you all in the next one. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.